So hello, welcome to the Tones of Inferno. I wanted to do like a demo review of a certain map. Not to talk about any specific player or anything like that, so don't worry, I'm mainly going to be focused on my POV. But to talk about like some of the things that happened on Inferno, and some general tips and tricks, which I think might be useful, and also some help with like perspective on how to view stats, tendencies that you can see in this game that probably exist in other games. I was originally going to do a game with Alex, but unfortunately, those demos have corrupted because CS2's update has like wiped them out. So this is the only one I have, but I guess it's a good one actually because we have three of the pre-made. As I said, I probably won't be playing with you guys in a team just because it kind of screws up the elo algorithm, as we'll see here. So this Pix guy is a Smurf account, which is fine because I guess you could say technically I am, even though this is my main account. So it doesn't really make sense to say that this is my Smurf because I'm just playing on my main account. But the elo algorithm basically is I'm here, then I have these teammates here, and then we have Pix, who is the equivalent of me on the other team, and then we have his friends. Guess that's not really relevant, but let's have a look, shall we, and see if we can find anything useful in this game. So, just as a quick aside, I'll probably be pausing quite a lot. Hopefully, it's not too annoying. I'm not particularly good at using the demo viewer, so there might be a bit of jank, which I apologise for in advance. But I still think it'll be a useful video. And again, I'm not going to be focusing on any specific player or criticising too heavily. I'm just going to try and keep it very light and give some tips and tricks. This is a lower elo game, so just some useful things. I will point out that I call for this game, which I'm not necessarily sure is a good idea because it's probably too much for newer players to feel comfortable with being told exactly what to do. But typically, it can help having someone call when you're newer because you're only worrying about what it is you're specifically being told to do. Like moving on from like very basic beginner style of calling. So what did I do to call? In this game. I kept it very, very simple, which is what I recommend when you guys play for whoever's calling. I effectively just call deathball strats, and deathball is a term which just basically means 5 people going as one. It's pretty effective on lower elo games because you have, as I said, not much to worry about as you're a T. When you give someone more to worry about, like you give them more responsibility in a round, they're more likely to make mistakes because they're pressured and because they don't know what they're doing. So if you watch a professional game, you might think, well, this is weird. They're not just rushing somewhere as a 5. That's because they actually know how to run a default on T side. So they know how to take banana control, they know how to take second apps control, they know how to take mid control, and people can be left in those roles and know how to do them. Now, I don't know if anyone on this team could have done those roles because, again, I'm not trying to be critical. I just assuming that most people are not playing very regularly. I haven't done in a very long time, so I keep things very simple and just call 5-man rushes, which is what I recommend you do if you go to the IGL. So I just call a 5-man B rush here. You can see that if you look at the top left of the radar, then this is not actually a beginner CT team. Why? Well, because they're playing freebie on pistol, which is actually quite smart. Pistol round B rushing is very easy. They also throw this incredibly good grenade, which puts Max and Insider down to 40, and Steve down to 50, and Burr down to 70. So, yeah, that's an amazing grenade, right? I get deleted here, so I also want to point this out. Again, I'm not covering much for myself here, but as you'll see, I played quite badly in this game for my level, which I can explain why later. As in, we can see what things I do wrong. But you can see there are certain times you die where it's not necessarily your fault, and the reason I want to iterate that is because you can have bad games where you don't have fantastic stats, and you haven't necessarily done too much wrong. Now, I don't want that to come across as like you can just excuse yourself every game. The only way you can improve at CS is to analyze what you did well, what you did wrong, as we will do in this game. But there are certain rounds where you just get a headshot and that's fine. So James should actually be dead here because the sandbags guy, if he was correct, should be trading with purple. Insider kills this guy, Steve kills this guy, which is good. This is obviously very bad. There's no reason to push CT here because what's the reason? James is planting because he's doing the team role, which is good job, James. He needs people just to be holding on site. If the banana push had come in earlier and they'd come up here, you would be in big trouble because all your teammates are not helping you at all. They're just chasing down a kill. Again, not a problem. You're new, but just something to bear in mind. The game in compet should not just be chase kills, right? Again, that can come from people that are worried about their stats and are thinking, I need good stats or people are going to think I'm bad. So they just chase kills all the time. But that actually can cost you rounds and it's not a great way to play. So I know who this is. Inside is running into CT for no reason. And I think on the mic I'm actually calling. So James, you actually play this round perfectly, pretty much. You plant the bomb, you play the team role, you're entering up long, and you play the round pretty much as good as I would want it to be played. Stephen now picks a good position. Max picks a good position. I think this is after I've called it, and James picks a good position, although maybe not. Oh yeah, this is fine. James plays this pretty much perfectly. Now this I should have actually showed. This is again, I'm not trying to be too critical, but this is a mistake. So and the reason I want to outline it as a mistake is just so that other people, because I know other people doing this as well, it's just so that you know why it's a mistake. So listen, you have a 4v2, you have man advantage in the bomb down. You just need to pick a position on site and hold the position, right? Because think about it, in terms of pushing here, you giving away an opportunity for the CTs to get a free kill where they're not pressured and they can also fight together, right? If you go into a fight where there's two people looking at you, you can only kill one of them at best. It's a very bad fight. We call those percentage fights. You want to maximize your percentage every time you fight someone, and you want to not be walking into a 1v2 like this. And you actually survive. At any decent level, you would get insta-killed there, and it would be a 3v2. Everyone else plays this position very well. Steven now does actually play this properly. Peeks when his teammate takes contact, which is good. And there you go. It's a decent pistol. Just be careful you don't push too much on pistol round. Well, not, excuse me, that's a stupid thing for me to say. Be careful you don't push too much on any round. Once you have the bomb down, pick a position on the site. Ideally something with a crossfire, as will show me fuck up later on. And then just play the position. So this round I call apartments control. I throw this Molotov. This Molotov blocks this guy here. If he went into boiler, he would not be able to peek you as you go into apartments, if that makes sense, because the molly prevents him from going up. So it's a pretty strong molly to take maps control. And then I also throw a HE in case he tries to push through the Molotov, because not only will the HE do damage, but it will also slow him, which will mean you get an easier fight when going into apartments. So you can tell that if you play a support role, like I do this game, you can have quite a lot of impact just through grenades, if you know which ones to throw. So who's taking this fight? So Inside is taking the mid fight, which is not what's called, but he does win it, which is good. And then who's first? Steven's first. Again, I apologize for my bad demo controls. Yeah, so this guy should be blind. Where is he? He's not blind. Oh no, he is blind. So that team flash, that flash that I threw, I will show it to you, just so you can do it in your own games. Here you go. So you just bounce it off this, and yeah, it just gets you a free kill. James got the kill there. Good entering by James and Steven. Remember, if you entry, guys, if you're going first, you're fighting harder fights, okay? So if you have worse stats, but you're entering on T side, Don't worry about it. You're doing your role. Try not again. I just really want to reiterate this point. Don't think CS too much in terms of stats or anything like that. Think, am I doing my role correctly? Is my role having success? If so, fantastic. Pat yourself in the back, which is what we're seeing so far. But that's a good flash. So as you see, all I've done this round, like I haven't got any kills. It's just grenade work. Very simple grenades as well. I'm not a grenade master by any means. Again, this is a mistake on our T side because it's the exact same thing as last round. If you look at our positions, so Steven's got into a good position, but James, if they push long or short here, you're fucked. And then Max, I think, is just trying to get into. Max is planting, so that's fine. But getting into a good position as quickly as possible is important. And to be fair, you will do that afterwards, I think. Yeah, James is going side. That's fine. So pit is a pretty good position because you can jiggle both short and apps. Green, our insider, is making a mistake here. He's what we would call overextending, which means taking a fight you don't need to take. Otherwise, we have good positions on A. I think, yes. So Steve, this is not the best position just because of the apps guy on cross, but you're going to get out jiggled by this deagle here, yeah. So this guy actually has a pretty decent shot on you. Again, if you get one deagle, it's not too bad. The reason that he's able to kill you is weapon disadvantage. You're playing Mac 10 at quite a long range spot, and he just jiggles you. And it is impossible to kill him, right? Like, even if I'm here, I don't kill this guy. Because I have a Mac 10, which means I need to spray at mid-range, right? Like, at this range. Because even if I headshot this guy with a Mac 10, I'm not going to kill him, right? And he just has to one-tap you. So this is a bad position to take with a Mac 10. However, do not be hard on yourself for this position because you played the round properly. You just didn't know that this was a bad angle with a Mac 10, which you wouldn't know. You don't play the game enough. But you played in terms of, okay, find a position after planting the bomb, you did that perfectly. It's just unfortunate that the angle wasn't the best. But again, don't blame yourself for that one. So he's now trying to jiggle me. And by the way, the fact that he is jiggling is a showcase that he's probably a bit higher level than we should be getting. I actually massively whiff a spray there, but fortunately Max, very solid on the side. Let's have a quick look. Max does a very good job this round. So this is a good angle with the Max 10 because it's very close range, obviously, and he also has James with him. So could peek a little earlier to help James, but that's fine. Gets the first important kill and then the second important kill because I'm shooting the guy at the back. So this is a good crossfire, guys. This is a decent T round. It's very good. No one made any big mistakes this round. The only issue was getting into position a little faster when we got the bomb down. Other than that, it was a good T round. Alright, third round. See what we do. It's a B take. So this molly prevents them from peeking car, and then you play behind the molly. I accidentally clicked a quick switch button on my mouse. That's me being bad. But I think you guys recover. James gets a good kill. Pretty unlucky there, to be honest. Good entry from Max. Oh, well, there you go. That's a very great round from Max. A very bad round from me, as you can see. And James has a good entry and manages to recover a round that we probably should lose because of my fuck up on the entry there. So this is the long cross smoke round. So I called 3 specific strats in this game. I called banana take, an apps take, and a long take. I think this is the long... No, it is apps still. I think I'll call the apps take later. So the problem with this round is obviously the guy is playing boiler, and people, I guess, are running past him because of a smoke. Oh no, that's a very good headshot, Steve. It's a great job there. So here, ideally we want to be going short, and there should be a smoke long. Do I not? Yeah, I do have a smoke. This is a correct plant, so good job, James. Again, Max is going to graveyard. I recommend you don't take this position too much. It was a lot stronger in CSGO. We just saw it from Steven 2 rounds earlier. There are better positions on site or pit. It's a good smoke on library, though. And as you can see, we've pretty much shut the opponent out. I think Steven's going to get a kill here because he gets a good flash. So he sees a guy, he jiggles him, which is great. I think he won't really peek, hopefully. Yeah, so you don't need to be fighting this guy at all. But I think I'm going to throw a flash for you. And then we'll go back to you. Oh, fuck me. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, guys. I think it's this round, right? Yeah, it's this round. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Jesus Christ. Very bad. So it's the same round. So here comes the flash. Oh, it didn't even help you get the kill really that much. I mean, the guy that traded you was the arch guy. We probably shouldn't have even been pushing that specific angle. But you did well to get a kill. Yeah, and I whiffed the spray a bit. It's a good round from Steve. Although be careful about overextending, obviously. Right. Let's see. So apps control again. Again, we keep it very, very simple. Just because, again, at a lower level, it's best to have everyone know basically what they're doing. We probably shouldn't have pushed through this smoke on apps. So this is a smoke I threw earlier, which just lets us come out long. Be careful about spam, obviously. We need to get green up, and because he's so slow. Okay, so this, I'm glad this round. This is a really great round that Steve should be super proud of because he plays this very, very well. So in a 2v2, we immediately need good synergy, right? We need good communication between the two players, and I feel like I've always will have that with Steve. Which is we need to quite quickly communicate what we're doing and both feel comfortable, right? So in this situation, we want Steve to cover long like he's doing. We want me to cover, Steve to cover short and me to cover long. So I take an elevated position so that if the CT, I mean this CT is actually very good. This Daybreak's worth like £300. This glove's worth like £500. It shows you that it's a pretty invested player at least. But the reason that this position is sometimes good, we call this position cold zero on top of this box, is because of the height elevation. So if he has crosshair placement and obviously is looking for my head, it's going to throw him off me being a lot higher, and he might pre-fire it. So he actually jiggles effectively, and then I'm guessing Steve gets this kill, even though he comes very late. So the key here is just to be very patient. We can see that blue is very low HP, he's only at 20 health. He probably should have peeked with his teammate, but he didn't. And Steven can clean it up. There we go. Great round from Steve. Great synergy on the 2v2. You want to have that with your teammates. So this is the banana control. Remember you can... Oh god, no, fuck this up, Jesus. Very rusty. You can smoke these Molotovs so that your teammate can keep running. Let's show Max it because he gets a very important entry kill. It's very difficult to entry banana. Trade Steven, which is great. So this obviously is a pretty bad round from me. I probably should have traded Flash. Yeah, you want to be careful about that grenade because if it lands in the smoke, it will pop the smoke, and if the CT is the other side of it, it'll kill you. Now, I guarantee you did not even consider that because obviously James is a CSGO player, CSGO veteran, and wouldn't have even considered that, but it's just something to bear in mind. that's pretty unlucky, honestly. And also just a good enemy player. You can tell by his mechanics that he knows what he's doing. And then Insider in a 1v1, don't really care about that. Is this the long strat? I know I did one round where I did a long strat, but no, it isn't. Now you can climb up this window. Who's doing it? Who's the guy climbing up the window? James? Or has Orange already gone up? So you can climb up this window. The only issue with it is the sound cue. Now we ran anyway, but it's just something to bear in mind that if your teammate's walking apps and you're jumping up, the enemy will hear you jump. Which obviously, great. So he jiggles here, takes bomb control. Steve just needs to get the bomb and run away, but Payne hits a good flashbang. Hit a really good shot on him. Pretty good shot on the long guy. Plant safe. James hits an insane shot on there. And another insane shot from James. So this is a great round from James. He pretty much solidified this round. A little overextendy on the third guy, but again, you're feeling it. You just hit 2 insane headshots, so that's fine. And then I lose this clutch. So why did I lose this clutch? I mean, the thing is, I didn't pick the worst position. I think the problem is that he just, yeah, he just pre-fires and just has a very good feeling that he knows where I am. He's just cleared like enough angles that he is confident that he knows where I am. So, you know, can't win every clutch. Not necessarily any decision-making error, more so just a mechanical error in the sense that I get out-dueled, and that happens sometimes. Can't win every fight. When you look back at demos and stuff, you want to be thinking more in terms of like if you're making a mistake in terms of like role or or like positioning and things like that, rather than mechanics, because sometimes mechanics will just let you down. Again with the molly on banana control. Good entry pressure from James, always going first on banana. It's a tough job to do. Oh, I think this is probably, I would argue, my worst round in the game. In terms of this match, I mean. So, me and James are in a very good position, and I actually called him to play this position because it's a crossfire. The only thing I would say is to tuck more, if that makes sense. Go more in the back left corner for James. The main thing you're watching is this run up. So you can say if someone comes behind me, and then I can watch your run up. But we are actually both fairly low HP. Which is not the best because of the Molotov. And Steve's picked a good position too, so everyone's in good positions. It's a 3v3 retake. We're trying to buy as much time as possible. They actually fuck up the molly on noob box. I'm guessing Steve's going to take contact first. He gets killed. And then we're in a real problem, right? 3v2. But the actual fault is me, because I should kill this guy. As you can see, the problem here is just, well, I mean, it's my error, but it's just, so I'm ready for the first guy, but James kills him instantly, and then I peek for the second guy, not expecting him to be immediately behind the first guy, but he is immediately behind the first guy, and he's full moving, and I just don't track him properly. Yeah, that's my fault. So that's a very bad round for me. That's a kill that I should be getting 10 out of 10 times. That's okay, though. James plays that round perfectly, pretty much. And Stephen, you play it very well too. You just miss the guy that comes out, Ryan's. But that's a really good. I don't want this position to like think, oh, okay, that's not a good position. It very is a good position. If you can get 2 people in that position, noob box and emo, there's a very strong crossfire you can use on B. So consider that when you're on B rotate. Oh, okay, so this is the long strat. So I guess I'll show it if you want to use it. This is a grenade that smokes long. You can pause the video if you really want to learn the smoke. So the idea with nades on mid is that you can cut off a certain person and isolate them, but I think Moritz is just going to push through. No, he doesn't push through. was aware of that molly. I didn't want to go short here because I heard the molly tick and I assumed that there was a molly here. I didn't realize it had been extinguished. Steve's already pushed onto A site and taken A site control, which is good. So this is a 2v1. So I think Steve makes a bit of an error here, which is totally fine, obviously. But in a 2v1, you don't want to be chasing the guy down. You want to be playing with your teammate, right? So you have the advantage because you're together. Oh yeah, that's just a lack of awareness that he could be there. But I think I win this 1v1, so that's fine. But yeah, when you're in a 2v1 or you have man advantage, you want to try and play with your teammate as much as possible. Because it's very difficult for this CT. He has like 15 different positions to check. He does even expect me on the right side, but his crosshair placement is shit, so he just has no chance. Then we go back to the A strat because they actually countered the mid take. They countered the mid take by throwing a Molotov, which we'll see on CT side. Great entry by James. That was probably a hard kill to get, to be fair. Because I think it's... I don't believe that he just got a one tap free smoke, so I'm guessing you must have seen him. Yeah, that was a very good kill. And then Max gets a good kill in apps, Decider gets a kill on mid, and we have A control. So remember, if you see 3 kills in A, you should be thinking A should be clear, need to get onto A as quickly as possible, make sure that the site's cleared before I plant, cover my site planter, etc. This is the safe plant spot if you're worried about apps for sure. So yeah, this is a guy that has great shot on me, one taps me, and I kill him. And I kill him purely through movement. So as you can see, he has no chance of winning that fight, and it's got nothing to do with my aim. There's a strength of, if you have movement mechanics, you can effectively almost just dodge by just having the strafe be that you hit behind the wall at the right time and you peek out from outside the wall at the right time. Just makes it impossible to win that fight. So just a point to say that like aim isn't everything. If you have, there are other aspects in dueling which can just give you a huge advantage. Okay, let's see what happens here. Go banana. Oh, this is the round where I'm like, there's no way this guy is, so as you can see, yeah, it's a good shot of me, to be fair. I was like, there's no way he's still CT spawn. Yeah, he was. It's a nice one, dude. Alrighty. This is a very strong T-side, obviously. The only rounds we lost on T-side were from me fucking up a good crossfire and also like a long strat that didn't really work. But our apps and B control strats were very strong, even with taking a lot of nades. As you can see, I'm very antsy about being... Yeah, Steve, this is sort of no man's land. You need to be in a position which you do get into, which is good. You get into the long position, that's fine. Just be aware, I think, of it. If I had to say one thing about this T-side is that to improve for everyone is to try and get to positions as quickly as possible as soon as the bomb's down. Wow, he has an insane shot at me there. I think Steve wins this, right? Yeah, I didn't expect you to push. That's good. Good clutch. So, from this T side, And Side actually has 20 kills. I didn't even notice him get that many kills, so it shows you that I don't necessarily know if he was that impactful with those frags in T side. But this was a good T side from everyone. The only, as I said, the only like main tendency I would say is to get into a position as soon as the bomb's down. That's the one like just general thing that could be a bit better. But we played like a very simple style, which is just 5 death ball, go B, go apps. Because we did that style, I say here's a disadvantage in death balling, is you take a ton of grenade damage, right? You go banana, you get HE'd, you get mollied, you just get shot to shit with grenades. That's why it can be useful to employ slower strats, right? Where you don't go banana right off the bat, you don't go apps right off the bat. Because that way the opponent throws their grenades, they throw their molotov, they throw their HE, or you can bait out their grenades and you don't take as much damage. But the problem with doing that is it means that there's more time in the rounds that the team needs to be self-sufficient, meaning I have to be able to put someone somewhere and say, okay, you play banana control, and they have to feel comfortable playing around banana, not giving themselves away as a kill, and not taking too much damage and pressuring the opponent effectively. And that's kind of a bit too high level, I think. So that's why I call a very, very simple style of just five man rushing. And as you can see, it's a very effective 9-3 T rounds on T side is very good. Everyone played very, very well. I think everyone had highlight rounds this game. In terms of you three guys, at least, I played quite poorly, really. There was quite a few whiffs, but yeah, all three of you had great highlights on T side, important rounds, and that's why we have a strong 9-3 T side. So that was a very good half. So on CT side, typically the default meta is to play 3A, 2B. However, on pistol rounds, the first round, you can play 3B, 2A, because the most common strat you see on a pistol is a B rush, because you can abuse the short range and the pressure, the movement momentum of a Glock. Now, in position-wise, for this game, I play short, Max plays long, James plays apps, and then Stephen is left to play with the random on B. Whoever's playing with a random will probably have a tougher time. I can't remember what Green was like as a teammate. I think I muted him. No disrespect to him, obviously. It's just because I wanted to focus on my friends. So as you can see, we have a good setup here, me and Max. This is a good setup on pistol because obviously if the T comes out top mids, they have to worry about their right and left, and they can't possibly fight both at once. Although I do think they end up killing me. This guy will come out and kill me, trade me. Yeah, he hits a good shot on me. And a good shot on Max. So this is a pretty rough trade. But James gets an important kill on apps. And then he gets traded himself, but we have bomb control. Oh, I remember this round. Steve loses a 1v1, but it's quite unfortunate. So, what's the problem with playing this round? It's quite easy. It should be, anyone watching this should probably know. The problem with this round, what goes wrong in this round, is instead of fighting the T as a 2v1, maximizing the fact that you have an advantage over him, you fight it as a 1v1 twice. Now, just to hopefully explain that, so think about it. If you're in a 1v1, and let's say the players are absolutely matching mechanical skill, right? Like they are literally like two twins. They've played the exact same amount of hours. They have the exact same mechanical skill. In a 1v1, let's say it's 50-50 to win. That percentage changes based on how much health you have, what gun you have, and also what angle you pick, okay? But let's just say that the angle is 50-50. If you have a teammate with you, you can, if you're controlling the fights, would you rather take two 50-50 fights, or would you rather fight two people at once where you maybe have like a 10% chance to win, right? So in a 2v1, sorry, that was a very convoluted, rambling way of putting it, but in a 2v1, you want to fight the T together, is the main point. So both CTs should be communicating. That is very difficult, obviously, because Green is not part of a pre-made, in how to fight this guy as a 2, like we saw on A site with mid. Instead, for picks, he has 2 1v1 fights, and he's a good mechanical player. As you can see, he has very good crosshair placement. He's probably quite experienced. He gets to have 2 1v1 fights here. So he fights inside it. So imagine this. Instead of just inside of here, Steve's playing here, peeks out, and is facing here. Picks can't win, right? Hopefully that's obvious. He cannot win if that happens. Instead, because Steven plays a little too passively, he gets a 1v1. So he got his 50-50 fight. And now he's in a 1v1 with Steve. Instead of having to fight both at the same time. And also he had 10 HP, so if Steve peeks, he would kill him. Yeah. So that's unlucky, but again, this is this is a case of not him doing something great on the final round, winning the 1v2. It's more so the error in not peeking together and maximizing player advantage. You always want to maximize whatever advantage you can get, and if you have a teammate with you, you need to be peeking at the same time. But again, it's totally fine. People aren't too experienced yet, but it's just something to bear in mind for next time, that's all. Okay, so we have... Max has... I'm just curious what he's bought here. Just a 5.7. How much cash do we have? Yeah, so you could probably buy a smoke here, but that's okay. This is where we play. So there are obviously many different ways you can play positions. I'm not going to go into every fucking thing because I'll be here all day. But so we play a little more aggressively. James would probably want to come to the end of this hallway and look down the stairs because you have an MP9, so you want the close range angle here rather than the far range one. Because that way I can play the headshot angle at the stairs, and then when they push and panic to try and kill me, you can be quite close enough to capitalize. The problem with your position currently is you're so far back that if they get past you, you cannot help your teammate anymore. Whereas if you were closer, you could help your teammate. But that's fine. This is a very good round from Steve. I remember this round. So we're going to show it. Because he gets 2 kills on Banana, which is super important. There we go. Fantastic job. Helps control Banana. It's a good round. Okay, so what's the green mistake? Hopefully everyone again sees these mistakes now that I've kind of made it clear. We have a 5v3. We have man advantage. We have no reason to push and peek Banana and give the T's an easier fight. But green does for whatever reason. And it means that Steve's now isolated and they kill him. And now it's a 3v3, but worse, it's a 3v3 and they have B site with a smoke that can just block CT, right? Because no matter how fast Max gets here, if there's a smoke on CT, and these guys have a smoke, as you can see in Burr for Ala's picture, inventory, if he throws this smoke, they now have B site, and B is incredibly difficult to retake. So this is an example of where overextending on CT side, we talked about overextending on T side, overextending on CT side can be really bad, because even though Steve did a really good job of getting 2 kills at the start of the round, this is now being countered, and we could possibly still lose this round because we don't have B site control, and with 1 smoke, the opponent's going to effectively get it. Now, are they going to capitalize? Oh, it is already smoked, excuse me. So the T's are making a mistake here. They should be fast on the site. They're giving us way too much time. James probably should rotate a bit faster, but that's okay. Maybe we didn't know for sure it was B. Okay, so we get bailed out of this round. This is not a round that we should win. The second that smoke goes down, basically. As soon as that smoke goes down, it should be... Yeah, this is like a very low chance we win this round. Because all the T's have to do is... Again, B is very hard to retake on Inferno. There are certain sites which are much harder to retake. Dust 2 on B is another good one. Ancient... I guess most B sites, really, are very difficult to retake. And we probably should have lost this round, being completely honest. Just from overextension and how dangerous overextension is. And again, I would argue that overextension mainly comes from people worrying about stats and trying to get kills. It's like, I need to get some fights. I need to get my stats up. But that could be multiple reasons, I guess. Wow. It's an unfortunate grenade. So yeah, again, if you play a Galil, this is a perfectly fine range to play apartments. So that's fine. But when you have an MP9, you want to play a bit closer. Make most of whatever gun you have. Just see what position Max is playing. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Nice hyper beast. Damn, dude. I think it's worth a fair bit. Okay, so James gets an important kill on apps. Kill the arch guy, and then we lose apps control. Probably didn't need to peek on apps, but that's okay. Because we had a 4v2. I fucking quick switched again. Jesus, I must have been nervous this game or something. To make that mistake twice in one game. And then Steve just gets killed by close range arch trap, which is fine. So yeah, that round was honestly probably kind of my fault. So it's fine. James comes to my... Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to go over this round because it's an important one on like mid setup. And I kind of make a mistake here. So here's the problem. The problem is Max has a USP for whatever reason. How much money does he have? So he bought, so I don't know why he can only afford a USB, maybe because he didn't buy in previous rounds. So because he has a USB, he's effectively useless in this position, right? He can't do anything. He can't spam a smoke with a USP. You can only spam if you have a rifle. He doesn't have grenades, so he can't molly in front of the smoke or HE the smoke or do anything. So he's effectively useless, just because of his buy. And then after I get the first kill, I'm isolated. Ideally, what should happen here is... Oh yeah, okay, so James actually is playing, in terms of the position, is perfect. Because he's playing a position where, when I'm in trouble, as I am, he can trade me. Yeah, he just whiffs, which is fine. That happens. I kind of whiffed this round too. But this setup, James and apps, is perfect. You played this round perfectly. In terms of your position, this is really good that you're intelligent in the game enough to realize, okay, there's nothing happening apps. I need to help my teammate on short. This is the perfect rotation, so this is really, really good sign of like someone that's an intelligent player. And Max, the only reason you're ineffective is just because you don't have a gun, right? You don't have an MP9 that you can just shoot through the smoke. You don't have an M4 you can shoot through the smoke. You only have a USP, which is probably an economy error from earlier in the game. And it just means that they can kill you. Also, just as a point, the point of this smoke and the other side smoke is to isolate someone. So if they throw the short smoke, it's because they're isolating the long guy. If they throw the long smoke, it's because they're isolating the short guy, which is why it's super important when you play a position like apps, or whatever, I guess, to think in your head, okay, they're isolating my teammate on short, I need to help my teammate on short, which is really good that James had the intelligence to be like, okay, I need to help my short guy out, even though there was a whiff on the kill, but that's the mechanical stuff is not too important. And Max somehow gets a kill with the USP because he's a mechanical god. I don't know how you get a USP kill, that's insane. And then Pico is doing his absolute best with a very clean knife to get these guys back in the game. And this is where we do the eco rush. So as I said in the game, if you're in an eco and you're not buying, as we are, we're saving some money here. You don't want to just run a default round, right? Because it's pointless. If we play 3A and 2B on a default round, what's the point if we're playing P250s or USPs or 5.7s even? On full eco, where we're not even buying armor. There's no reason to play a default round. The T's are going to win it 98% of the time. You need to do something on an eco, and you can either push like we do, or you could stack a site like we do. Sorry, not like we do. Like you could. So, for example, you could say, okay, let's all go on B. Let's play 5 people on B on the eco. And things like that. And on an eco, the strat isn't necessarily even to win the round, right? Like, the chance of us winning the round is very low. It's not like we're saying, okay, we're going to win the round by pushing mid. But what we are doing is we're killing at 2 of them, which means we're forcing rebuys from these 2 guys. They have to buy again this round, which means that their money is kept down. And also we're doing something called conditioning, which is even subconsciously, if you push mid once a map, the T's now have to respect the fact that you could push mid again, right? And they have to be aware that you can push mid round. If you play passive every single round and you never ever play aggressive, the T's are going to feel comfortable because they know that they don't have to worry about early mid aggression. Whereas just one aggro round, they all of a sudden think, okay, we need to be careful that they don't push mid like that because it's too much damage. That's maybe a little higher level, but it's worth bearing in mind. So this is an easy smoke you can do. So again, they're trying to isolate me and Max. So this round, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going to make the same mistake again. And I'm going to play a different angle where I can play a little more passively and not worry. And that's why I retreat to pit here. And again, I probably should have got this kill a little faster, which is so it's my fault that James dies, really. I should have got that a little more cleanly. It's a good flash you can use to blind the short guy at the aggression. And then jump spotting because I'm low HP and I just need info. Now, I think I actually almost throw this round despite the start of this. So again, we don't want to be playing too aggressively. Steven needs to get out of here. Why? Well, because the T could be anywhere in this smoke, right? He could be on the right, he could be in the middle, he could be on the left. So yeah, this is good. This is a good play. You don't want to be just standing in front of the smoke when it's a 3v1 because he could be anywhere in the smoke and it's too dangerous. Oh, it's okay. Okay, good. So we have bomb drops. So I guess I call that I'm holding back. We don't need to necessarily be looking for fights on mids. But yeah, like Max wants to play a little more like far back here. You have an M3 when else you have a long range, but you get a good kill. Okay, yeah, it's a little overextension, but that's okay. Again, if you took the top of your screen, you see you have man advantage. Typically, you want to just play a little more passively, especially when we have the bomb down and there's no reason for us to speak. But I think I make the exact same error, so you'll see. Yeah, I think that I fucked this round up. I almost lose this round. So there you go. I just made the exact same error, which I was critical of Max and everyone else for, even though I have much more time and much more experience in the game. I'm making the same mistake, so I should be much more critical of myself than any of you guys. What should have happened is I should have just stayed hidden in the pit. Then when Pix comes out and fights Steve, I can peek from the pit and kill him in the side of the head. But I peeked too early and gave him a chance to win this round. Unfortunately, I remember Insider still wins it. So even though Pix mechanically is very good, he should never have a chance of winning this round at all. It's my mistake that gives him a way into the round. And that just comes down to discipline. Just having a bit more discipline and not over-peaking, overextending. Okay, so they're going to try their A strat again. So this round they kill James. Let's see what James did. So the thing I will say, James, probably why you die here, I'm not entirely sure, we'll see, is just to be careful, if you play the same position every single round on apps, they are eventually going to cotton onto it and just punish you. Now, I don't think you're typically an apps player, so you're probably not entirely sure where to play in apps. But you can play, like, I don't know how to do, how can I do free cam? I'm asking as if anyone would fucking know. I don't know. Guess I'm just not going to do it. But there's a position outside of Arch that you could pick. Oh, here we go. I can do it. So, for example, I can't really turn the screen, but if you play on this like thing, you can look into apps. You can play here and look into apps. You can play like by the truck and look up. You can play like by the barrel and look up, if that makes sense. Uh, yeah, there's plenty of positions you can pick that are a little safer, a little more passive, possibly. Because I think the reason you die is probably because they expect you to be here. Yeah. So this seems like an insane shot, and it is a very good shot. He hits on you, but it's also because he knows you're playing here because you've been here the past 3 rounds, so he gets a free kill on you, which is totally fine. But just be aware to change your position a little bit occasionally, because otherwise you will get punished at higher elo. And also, like, losing their guy, again, this is not James's fault, he's not an apps player, but one of the problems with A on Inferno is it's weird, if you lose one piece, one domino, the defense starts to fall, because now the short guy, which is me, has to worry about someone coming out balcony behind me, one coming out boiler, or one coming out mid and pressuring max, and is very like a scary position to be, right? Because if they just have a guy walk out balk, I'm dead. So I have to sort of play more passively, but I'm also thinking, fuck, I don't want to play more passively because it's kind of gonna mean that Max gets fucked over. But fortunately, Max gets a very nice MP9 kill here. Oh, sorry, I skipped the kill and then showed the mistake of swapping to a knife. Oh, is this the 1v2 where they do actually get the bomb down? Man, why did I jump there? That was so stupid. Who's got the go the bomb? Vix, he does plant immediately. Yeah, 1 second left. That's unfortunate. The funny thing is, if I just hadn't jumped, I would have killed him, and then I would have won the round. Yeah, that's my mistake there at the end. I think I jumped up to try and get height elevation on the angle, and then, whoa, what happened this round? Oh, it's an eco. Oh, it's not an important round, it's just an eco. Then I think we close it here. This is the final round. Steve does a good job. I'm sorry, Steve, we haven't seen much of B, obviously, because it'd be my perspective, but do a good job here to get 1 kill trade and stay passively on the site. It's very important to remember that if you give up the B site, you effectively lose the round. So it's a very important position to play B, and it's also very difficult. So here they've gone the opposite. They're now thinking, okay, we'll isolate short player and leave the long player. But Max actually spamming the smoke. So you can see Max spamming the smoke. This is perfect and exactly what you should be doing. So the old instinct from the old CSGO years is kicking in. This is the correct thing to do. You spam the smoke, so the T is worried that you might push through and you apply pressure. This guy has an R8 for some fucking reason. Jesus Christ. So, again, that's literally just movement, not movement, positioning so that this pillar blocks the boiler guy while I kill the mid guy and then kill the butch guy after. And then this GG, I think. Nice. That's the game. So we had a 39 victory. And yeah, it was solid. This was a solid Inferno game. Hopefully there's some stuff in there that can prove useful. Some tips and tricks, some tendencies that I spotted, and yeah, hopefully that was a good watch.